It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
But Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. It's your boy Concert Viz 34, and we back. Shout out to all the campers today. Make some noise if you in standard camping. Everyone in Premier camping, what up? How y'all doing? Premier camping, what up? Gold camping. I know y'all doing it big. Y'all only do it big in gold camping. Oasis, the glamping, the best of both worlds. What up, Oasis camping? What up? Terrace, if you're camping in the terrace, what up? Shout out to everyone in District 9. District 9, what up? Shout out to everyone who rented them RVs. Make sure you bring them back in one piece. We're going to have a great show tonight. There was a great show tonight. We'll talk about it. Yeah. So Saturday night is all right for fighting, but there was a lot of love also. A lot of love here. I'm going to pull up the set list here. This is it's a unique year for me looking at the Gorge set list. And I say that as I was popping in. Shout out to Stephen. Many of you guys saw me on Instagram Live with Stephen, who's been collabing with me. And he's been going live. You guys see my reactions to the different songs that he has on there. And, you know, it's real dope to be able to tune in to some of the various people that are videotaping or recording, not videotaping. Ain't gotta no one has a camcorder out there at the Gorge. Silly me. But people, you got the cell phones and they're sharing their experience. You don't have to share your experience, but those who do, shout out to y'all. It feels like we're there with you. But I say this is interesting because when you look at these set lists, guys, there were no Under the Table and Dreaming songs today. There were no Under the Table and Dreaming songs. Last night, there were no Crash songs. We have a full batch of songs, and I see Megan. Megan, hang tight. We're going to get Megan on in just a second. But you have a night one with no Crash, night two with no Under the Table and Dreaming, and you have a lot of stuff that's coming back from Away from the World. You have a Joyride that makes its return since first time since 19. It was skipped here at the in 2019 at the Gorge as well. I was there at the Gorge and there was no Joyride. I was saying, hey, they have 3 nights to hit it. They did not hit Joyride, but you get it tonight. So very interesting that of what they're doing. You get You Never Know and Fool to Think. You Never Know has been played 3 times. Been played 3 times in the last 3 Gorge weekends. So we've gotten a bunch at the Gorge, and it stays as is as a great deep cut. And the next song, Fool to Think, hasn't been played at the Gorge since 2010, despite making many appearances across the country in various tours. I wouldn't say many, but a considerable amount, even though it's a deep cut. So you have just in the 2 and 3 spots, you have a song that's been seeing some Gorge play. You Never Know, that's a deep cut. Only been played 6 times at the venue, but 3 of them have been played in the last 3 roundabouts or 3 weekends. Then you have, like I said, a Fool to Think that hasn't been played 6 times at the venue, but hasn't been played since 2010. So that is, a unique thing. But I don't want to. I think we lost Megan. Let's see if hopefully we can try to get Megan back here. She was just here, and I know that the cell service is very spotty here. So let me just check. I can or only. Yeah, she's got some connection issues, so I'm going to try to see if we can do this. I may need to start old-fashioned calling people, but shout out to everyone here. Alex Brandt just got off work. DMB Mamas, thank you for connecting me with Andy Mendoza. Craig says, what an amazing show. Connor says this show seemed like a total joyride. And it was. Now, I said this before. Last night was not. I don't think last night was better. Here's why. Do you want Bayou to end us? So let's go across why tonight was better. You have a DMB opener in One Sweet World, which is a fan favorite to open shows. Not my first pick. There's a lot other songs, but I still think it's a beautiful song to open up. It's not in my top 3 of openers, but it still is one of those amazing songs to open a show. But One Sweet World is a great opener. You have 2 guests. You have Eric Krasno do his thing on a song that he's never played on, which is Break Free. And then you have a Watchtower guest in Setlsits. And Stay over Bayou. Now, you may like Hines. You may like it over that, but most people are going to take Stay. Bayou is a song that is polarizing in the DMB community. Where Stay, people, some people don't like Stay, but I think it's better. You have a Joyride. I know Hines doesn't like Joyride, but you have a Joyride. Like I said, Fool to Think, You Never Know. You have these deep cuts, and then you have the songs that people dance to. Can't Stop, Sledgehammer, 41, So Much Bridge, Too Much. You have a Squirm, right? You have a So Damn Lucky. And again, a Watchtower at the 17 spot, a two-step at an 18 spot. Tonight is a better show. Tonight is the Saturday show, and there was so much to play tonight that just made this to me the better show. I mean, you never know what in Food or Think back to back. Then you get a Can't Stop Bathroom Break and you go right to Joyride Stay or Leave 41. If Only makes a tour debut. I'm not a fan of that song live. I don't think it translates well, but they wanted this. So there are some fans who wanted this. Yeah, Squirming to Break Free. This show is overall, I think if we talk to fans, they're going to like this show better. There were definitely, I mean, listen, last night had some great moments. Absolutely had some great moments, but there was not a break free last night. I mean, think about it. Last night, still a great show. Don't get me wrong. And one of the things that's what last night was missing. At the Gorge, you always have that Food or Think, that break free, that you never know, these deep cuts, Joyride. And we had all those tonight. You could argue again, the encore is the best encore of all time now. But it's still, listen, you end with Stay, and that's going to get most of the crowd out. That Watchtower and two-step 1-2 punch at the end of the set. This was better. We do have Stephen. All right, let's get Stephen on. Okay. Let's see if we can connect him here. So let me mute I don't want that echo thing to come through again. All right, so give me 1 second. All right, Stephen, you are live on the air. What'd you think about tonight's show?
What's up, man? Top 5 all.
This is a personal top 5 show for you?
Oh yeah, easily personal top 5, easy.
All right, and now what makes this a top 5 personal show for you?
Oh, wait, let's ask Kathy.
It was orgasm.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, Mark.
And what else outside of that? What else made this?
Marcus, the big key thing, Take Me, No By You, and the two guests, Krasno and Celise, off the chain.
Okay. And we got a little, listen, we weren't there in person, but you shared Krasno, Rab shared Celise, and I said, I was commenting to Rab, I said, I got church in like 8 hours, but I feel like I'm at church during this Watchtower. What did they do to really highlight those songs, Break Free and Watchtower?
I think that Watchtower is incredible. She is basically playing guitar.
You talking about vocally, playing guitar vocally?
No. Singing, playing guitar, unreal.
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw. Yep, she was doing. Okay, so you're saying she did both. She slayed both of them, the guitar and the vocals.
Both.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that was, again, even with Rab's phone, through his whatever, his iPhone or Android, her vocals cut through, and you're like, this isn't Dave like, all right, maybe I can hit that note. She's like, I'm hitting that dang on note,
yep.
And I'm not missing that note. And her, just like Leroy with the sax, her vocals just they came through powerful.
Not in a good spot, Mark. These people taking everywhere.
Listen, we know what the fuck we're talking about. He's playing during 41, and they totally honed in on his solo skills.
There you have it, Marcus.
So you talk about Krasno? They honed in on Krasno's.
No, she's talking about Timmy on 40.
Highlight.
Timmy's 41 solo was off the chain.
Okay, so he had his 41 solo there. And let's
Yep.
talk about Jeff. You came in and you shared You Never Know and a little bit of Fool to Think. What did you think of Jeff Coffin? Actually, they actually like remembered he existed in the band and they gave him some awesome spots there.
I'm gonna lose you.
Okay. All right. So it looks like he fell off. Obviously, they are having a ball there. They are living the dream. Uh Hines says that's why he could never call in after the show. Hines, you would have to be on a 45-minute tape delay after a show. We'd have to make sure that content we'd have to make sure it ran through. I'm trying to see, but as you see, I mean, he was piped up, and I think that's really what it's good that he pointed that out. Those guest spots made this show. Those guest shot spots made the show for him. And like I said, what I was able to tune into from his streams and from other people's streams, that's really what you got. I mean, that break free. So Stephen goes live and you have the baritone guitar. And I'm like, okay, could it be So Right? Could it be could it be what? I don't think it was gonna be What You Are. I just didn't think, that's kind of a hard song to solo on. That's kind of just a run through high energy song, which I love again. So it's like break forward or break free. And what I loved about break free, they put the ball on a tee and Krasno hit it out the park. Break free has that space in the solo where it starts off after the verses come through and the chorus comes through twice and that bridge comes, you're able to build up from a quiet. So Carter's in his pocket and you build up, you're able to build momentum in a break free open solo spot that you can't do on every single DMB song, right? You can't have him on Ants Marching and him like do what he did on Break Free. And he has that Joe Lawler like blues rock tone down. He has some reverb there with the blues rock tone, and he did his thing on that. He did his thing. That's all I can say. He did his thing, and it was nice to listen to that. I was so glad that Steven shared that with us when he went live, because he didn't go live for every song, but we got that break free, and I was like, okay, this is why you go to the Gorge. Just like we went to Alpine and we got Krasno on Lie in Our Graves. Rocky Kanga Music says, just heard the Watchtower for tonight. Really, really good. Yeah. And I'm not a fan of Watchtower, actually, but you know what they did right with Watchtower? I don't like Watchtower closing out shows. I would rather have it at the end of the main set. And even so, I've had Watchtower I think it's my most played encore. Let's go to my almanac, my stats. So I know some people across the country, you may not get Watchtower that much, even if you go to like an Alpine or Deer Creek every year. For some reason, Watchtower like follows me around. And if we go to my songs, right? Or my slots. Right? Watchtower is the highest frequency encore song. Okay. Here, let me zoom in on this so you guys can see this. Yeah, we're not gonna talk baseball. My Yankees lost. Well, not my. I don't own the team.
Bruh.
Yankees lost 2-1 today. Yet again, just listen. They had this. They're gonna start singing "If I Had It All." Like they just done dropped one of the biggest leads they've had in over a decade. In the last 20 years, it's like the biggest lead they've had over the. Yeah, so most seen encores. Go right. Look at right here. Watchtower is 10. I've had more. Two Steps 8, Sisters 6, Gray Street, and so on. So I've had Watchtower 10 times. Listen, I've only been going to show this. I've been to 41 shows. 10 times Watchtower. That's crazy. And I think the post-Roy version of it gets it's too rocky. But tonight, listen, tonight I was a fan of Watchtower. I was all for Watchtower and the vocals by Celeste. And then the guitar playing that she had, it was awesome. It was awesome. Celeste rocking that Benton amp. I couldn't see her gear. Obviously, Rab was behind stage, but yeah, I mean, she did her thing. But I think this is one where, and I like this is a set list where you got a little bit of everything. You got a little bit of everything, and that's really been the theme of 2022. You got your break frees, your fool that thinks you never knows, but you got your 41s, you got your too much, you got your so much to say. Dreaming Tree makes it to the Gorge. That's awesome. All right. Shout out to Dreaming Tree, the 9th time it's been played in the venue, the 6th time this year. I love seeing Dreaming Tree get some love out here. Oh, she had an SG. She had a custom shop SG. Okay. So she had an SG. Interesting. Okay. Because I was watching her from the back. Not that. No pun intended. I was watching her from the back.
Bruh.
You what?
But you know what? I'm coming around to the SG as a guitar player. I've always been a Strat. Oh, it's got 3 humbuckers. Okay. I'm coming around to the SG. I always kind of look down upon it because it's like, listen, if I'm going to get a Gibson, I'm going to get the Les Paul. But the way that I've seen Tim Reynolds be able to incorporate it and actually better his tone, I've been a huge Allman Brothers fan, so of course Dwayne. But I'm starting to warm to the SG. Just a side note. But this was a really good set. Now, I think one of the things that you have to look at, just looking forward. Yeah, Tim used to have a Les Paul. He kind of moved away. He picked the Telly, the Strat. The Strat's always been there, but the Strat and was there. The Telly. But you know what though? He got that Supro. He has some sort of deal. I don't know if he's on their roster. But he got that Supro. He like the Les Paul kind of went away. It went away before that, but he has the Supro and then he has the SG. So he's not really using the Les Paul. If he's doing Gibson, it's the SG or the Flying V. I always say this with the Gorge. You're not gonna get everything you want tomorrow, and that's okay. The Gorge is not about the set list. It's about the experience overall. And you just happen to get some great things along the way. There's just not enough room for Shotgun, Stone. What are some other songs? Like you probably will get some of them, but like Break For It, you still have Break For It's on the table, Shotgun, Stone. Let's look at some of the songs that we've had for this tour. Let's get away from my. You can say tomorrow is set up perfect. They got to do Jimmy thing tomorrow. That's the thing is so you can have Lion Out Graves. The problem is they're not going to have everything. There's just no way. You think Sunday's show is going to be the best? That's what Hines says. We'll see. Again, I think there's let's look at this tour. Let's look at the summer 2022 tour and let's look at songs. Okay. So just looking at this, right? Let's go through, right? So 27 hasn't been played, right? Again and again. Ants Marching hasn't. There's a lot of Under the Table and Dreaming. So, like, think about this. You got Bartender, right? You could have a Fish Tender, but can you have a Fish Tender, Jimmy Thing, and Lion or Graves in the same set? It probably won't happen. Come On's probably. Did Come On get played? Oh, it got played. Did it get played when the whole thing shut down? Let me check again. Was it played? Oh, was not played. So you're probably gonna get a Come On. Matt, you're gonna get Walk Around the Moon. So think about this. Walk Around the Moon only thing. Let's do some math here. Let's do some math. Okay. Right. So we got Walk Around the Moon only thing and Ocean and the Butterfly probably will be played. Walk Around the Moon only thing, Ocean. So that's 3. Okay. We got 3 so far. Plus 27 is 4. Let's just say, I'm just saying if they were going to play it. Let's say they what is it? Break For It is 5, right? Stone is 6. Granny is 7. So that's 7. I'm just naming songs that haven't been played, right? Typical Situation would be 8. Drive In, Drive Out. That's been another one that's been in rotation. Halloween. Again, I'm just trying to add different things that haven't been played. Jimmy Thing's gonna be plus 1. Let's see. Pig, don't forget Pig. Right, Rooftop. Say Goodbye. I'm just thinking, and listen. Shotgun. There's probably going to be an E1. That's probably going to be Sister. I'm doing rough math right here. Song that Jane likes has not been played. Steady As We Go. It was a staple in the tour earlier. Sweet has not been played. Maybe it doesn't get played. We're already at 19 songs. Time Bomb. I'm just trying to add on stuff that, a wish list. You and Me has not been played. I didn't say Jimmy Thing. Jimmy Thing, Crash Into Me. Right? Crash Into Me, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't get played. We're already at 23 songs. I haven't even looked at Funny How Time Slips Away, right? Old Dirt Hill. I haven't. Oh, no, did they play Old Dirt Hill yesterday? But Best of What's Around, that's 1 plus 24. Plus 1, that's 24. There's just so many songs that you don't have enough spots to fill in. And remember, they're not just going to have the way these shows work. They have to have high energy songs and then slow songs and then deep cuts and then high energy, then slow song and then deep cut and then hit. Like, yeah, there was no Stairway tonight, and that's awesome. I don't like Stairway. But I'm already at 24, and I'm not even thinking about a tour debut. Let's just add 2 tour debuts. We're at 26 songs. Let's say we add 2 more. We're at 26 songs right now. I just was throwing out random songs, and we're already at 26 songs. So you're only going to have 20 songs played, probably. 18 plus 2. What was played tonight? You had 20, right? Sugar Will and Loving Wings. Yeah, I don't think both of those are being played. I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if neither of those are played this year. Because again, and that's the thing. Captain, yep, Captain. We're at that's 27. So there's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot. And that is the challenge. That's always going to be the challenge of a Gorge weekend. You think they're going to play out the sets, but even look at Fish. Fish is playing 4 unique shows this weekend, and they actually do play out their set list, and there's still going to be songs left on the table. Now, people are going to be more fulfilled at the Fish weekend set list wise, but even so, Fish only plays so many songs per show as well. They have some longer jams. Dive In, yeah, someone said Dive In. Minarets, I didn't put Minarets. We're at 30 songs that are realistic to be played. 30 realistic songs. And we could keep going, right? I did add The Last Stop. I think I added that as I would put The Last Stop as one of the tour debuts / liberations. It would be a tour debut because we got it at MSG. So you have about 30 songs that are possible. But they got to get it down to 20. You got to cut 10 of those. But again, going to the Gorge is an experience on its own. Now, one of the things I saw in the Ants Marching forums, I think if we go back on paper, you could say that on paper last night was one of the weakest shows from a Gorge weekend. And the reason I say that, let's look at some of the previous Gorge shows, okay? Let's actually we're going to start at 2019 because 2021 was just unique in so many different ways. Now, I say on paper because I think these shows were amazing. Listening to these shows were amazing. Let's look at the Gorge. Let's look at some of the shows that we've had in the past from the Gorge compared to night one. So we'll go back. Let's go to night one. And we'll do a little bit of a side-by-side here. All right, so we'll do a little bit of a side-by-side. Right? So let's zoom in a little bit. Oops. Give me one moment, folks. Thank you guys for hanging with your boy. It's your boy, Concept 34. Right? So I just want to show you, and this is this is just a strictly on paper thing. Right? This was the last Gorge show in 2019, right? So when you look at deep cuts, you have the riff, you have Fool in the Rain's a cover, but let's just take out covers. The riff and Drunken Soldier and He are the deep cuts from this set. That's about 3. Right? For this show, which I think was one of the weaker nights in 2019, I went to all 3 nights. You have a Raven, you have a So Right, you have a Write a Song, you have a Recently, right? You have a Recently. So this is a weaker night, but look at this. You got Raven, So Right, Write a Song, Recently. Minarets is played. Lion Out Graves is 3rd into this show. Let's go to the previous show at this venue, right? Look at this show. Bayou opens up, but you got the So Much Bridge Too Much, You Never Know, Fish Tender, and I think that's what we'll get. We'll get tomorrow night is a Fish Tender. But I got a Fish Tender. Now you have Cortez with Warren. You have Lover Laid Down, or Was he with Warren? No, I think he left after that. But you have a Pig Gray Street encore. That's a pretty dope encore. Virginia in the Rain, I guess it's a deep cut, but it's also a newer song. But you could argue it is. And I did say Ehe was a deep cut. But the show to the left, I'd much rather have than Last Night. On paper, right? Here's the first night. Which again, this is night 1, 2019. You get a Seek Up opener. You get a Drunken Soldier. Now, this was Liberated, right? Now, it was Liberated again, but look how much longer it was since the last one. You have a Last Stop, a Dancing Nancy's in the Last Stop into Granny. This encore was amazing. I'll Back You Up, two-step to PNP Rapunzel. Tripping Billy's just casually thrown in night 1, right? So you see what I mean? Like, there's a lot of firepower here for that night 1. Let's look at the previous show at this venue. Right? Look at this show. And again, this is why. First Butterfly in a while. Right? I think I had seen the last one. It was 9, or they're playing it in 2015. Right? But you have a Butterfly Watchtower Cornbread. Kind of unique, even though I'm not a fan of cornbread. Very unique. Ants Marching. Hello Again, Lie in Our Graves, Captain, Tripping Billies, Superstitions thrown in there. So Right, number 27, One Sweet World. Let's go to the previous show at this venue. And this show, I mean, actually, this show, a You and Me Grace. This Last Stop, though, Time of the Season. So this one is a little bit weak because you don't have a lot of stuff at the beginning. 41-7, right? Previous show at the venue. Let's keep going. Satellite. Well, not Satellite. I don't know why I'm saying Satellite. Pig. Raven. This show is this show doesn't really have much after Pig and Raven. But I can kind of see like Pig, the Stone. Oh, a Stone opener. Yeah, that's 2016 Stone opener. I know you guys. Let me zoom in. 41 into Say Goodbye, Burning Down the House. I Dare You. So see, that's the one thing. This was a live track. This was the last show that. Yeah, 2018 wasn't the strongest year. But the 2016 is Fuego. That the 25th anniversary, the two-step Ween, Granny Rooftop, Cry Freedom gets out there, Tripping Billies, the Grave Digger. Ooh, there's some heat. Raven. So yeah, like in the history of the Gorge, Last Night wasn't the craziest of craziest shows, but I think it still was a good show. And I think one of the things is, as the material has aged, there's been a need or a hope for some wow, I didn't realize. Okay, there's been hope though. Like Away from the World has been more appreciated. People have had enough time to miss it. I do want to bring Andy Mendoza on. If you guys are on YouTube and you see 4K video, if you see Dave caught in 4K, typically it's Andy Mendoza right at the rail. He's gotten some great videos over the years. He's at the Gorge for these runner shows, and we want to bring him on to talk about this. Andy, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. So tell us about this Saturday night Gorge show.
Oh, my mind is blown. The energy was awesome. Last night's show was great. The fact that he was thrown in there years, and I came out the top, but Setlsits Tower, if in that was space melting. Amazing. Actually, here I just stopped at box office with some light because it's out here and I'm a lot out of breath. Actually was able to crop that out, and it's right now on my channel. Missed it. One that's absolutely amazing. Watchtower I've ever seen. They went ahead and followed that up, which you can never go with two-step. Amazing show. Absolutely amazing.
So you're uploading that Watchtower to YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I look forward to seeing that. That's gonna, I mean, and that's the thing is now listen, I'm watching my friend Stephen who was on, he was live streaming on Instagram, but even from Rab, not him. He turned it off so he can enjoy it. But Rab did a behind the stage, and usually, you can't, the sound's not the best there. I heard Salisa's voice just like Leroy's sax, it just pierced through, even in the low, like behind stage, poor audio, you could hear her voice clear.
Her voice is nothing short of phenomenal. I know why I was to her before in the past. And if I have mentioned her in the past, I did. They're early enough to her opening. I was mesmerized. Voice is glowing. I know I keep saying that, but that's fine. And immediately her get on iTunes out if she's on there. I need to find out. I need to listen a little more out. And Watchtower, admittedly, being a set list is not necessarily the greatest, but I'm not really too thrilled. Tore it up on there, went absolutely nuts. The energy, it was.
Yeah, and I agree with Watchtower. It's the post Leroy Moore Watchtowers. I'm like, it's just a rock song now. It can get pretty. It's my biggest encore. It's the highest played encore song in my stats. Somehow, it follows me around, even though some people never get it. But
It does.
To see, even again from a low quality phone at behind the, or not low quality, a cell phone behind the stage from Rab, it felt so fresh to have someone else sang on it, not sang on it, and then go to their guitar, their custom SG, and just bring new life into the song by their unique playing. So that was something that I was like, wow, I can't wait to see your video. I can't wait for the tape or audio of that to come out, because that was special. Now, one thing I wanted to know, I didn't see this because I was kind of hopping from stream to stream. If Only is a song that doesn't translate well to me. How did If Only hit tonight at song number 8?
In the middle of the set, after 41, at that point the set was up and down. It was like a roller coaster out joyride. Awesome. They slowed it down with great, and then they brought it back. And then If Only, the nice little end to that little up and down, and it sounds great. But then I did something a little different. I actually rail. I stood on the back, and I had an amazing view. Better, in my opinion, all around. I hadn't seen If Only. It's middle of a bit by. Enjoyed it.
Gotcha. So usually, yeah, right. Your videos are right on the rail. So you were further back in the pit and you
I
were
was.
able to enjoy it from a. Okay.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Um, Luck out on the draw. It's fine. It happens. I told myself, get a better view. I into kind of relaxed. I didn't trying to get in early, and bought and use the restroom freely. And the people were great, and I was able to get without having camera quite a bit, very minimal work. Joy being on the rail and filming it is absolutely enjoyable. Why I do it and from enjoying it myself, I do enjoy it. I definitely would not do it, but in the back of the pit was quite nice. I was able to learn a lot more. Entire stage in front, and I was able to really soak in Gorge and seeing everything. Unlike last time I was up on there, when you're that close, the stage, like any other stage, you don't really get the scope of the Gorge right up on the rail. At least, and the last time I was here, I ventured towards the end of night 3. I told him, "What am I doing down there? This is you. I have to." So that's exactly what I did.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I can definitely attest to that. I had not gotten rail before last year at Mohegan and got it in Hartford.
Ooh.
And it was amazing. Like I would not trade it for the world, but it's nice to be able to get that perspective for those nights. And then also, I remember the first Virginia in the Rain song ever, debut of it in Hartford. I was further back in the pit. And just when you're further, as you experienced today, sometimes when you're further back, you get certain things, and sometimes when you're close, you feel certain things that you don't feel there. So it's always great to have different perspectives there. It is a little bit choppy. It's kind of hard to hear you. But what was your favorite moment of the entire night here?
I would add, we already discussed it, and that's saying quite a bit because there is tied with 41 Tree, and I got both, and that's a great show. That Watchtower, like I don't think I thought I'd ever say it. Put this, and it was an amazing high step. The last time felt quite like that. It is the closest I come to 19 when I was on the rail, and it started. It's then I've got it up on YouTube. It's raining and pouring in the back, and I pan in the lawn, and you could just see rain coming down the lawn, and changing JTR, and goes back and changed it, and I hadn't heard that in over years. The feeling on watch pretty damn close to that, and it was the highlight of the night.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving us this in-person reaction. We were just even in the chat talking about this. We can talk about this set list from our house all we want, but when you're there, it's a totally different experience. Like you said, I think the takeaway is the Watchtower, that how you felt it that tonight, a song you're not the biggest, like it's not your must see song, but it was amazing. And then even the show flow, like you said, it was like a joyride. I think that's another takeaway we can take away, is that that made this entertaining. You get these high energy, you get a one sweet world. You never know. Fool to Think, Can't Stop really gets dancey. Joyride's fun, and then you slow it down. You pick it up 41, you slow it down again, you pick it up again. You get to Dreaming Tree, and that, you know, that's something that you have to be there to really feel. So thank you so much, Andy, and hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, you take care. Peace.
Take care.
All right, so we want to thank Andy for coming on there, and really everyone who's come on, because it's hard to get reception, and they're doing everything they can. They're chilling. They could easily be back sleep or back wherever their campground is, wherever their hotel is, but they take a couple seconds, try to get that Wi-Fi from the box office or from the gate. Because when you guys, if you guys haven't camped at the Gorge, people who watch my stream, shout out to all the supporters, right? They'll say from the campground, they really want to watch my stream, and they can't watch it until Monday morning when they're back home, or Tuesday, you know, whenever they get home, because it's just, or at the airport, right? Flying back, because it's just, obviously there's just, you have thousands of people. You have a town of a very small town that has stuff for the Gorge, but you have thousands of campers, and then you have thousands of more people. Oh, Matt Hughes. Matt, you were there, right? So he says best watchtower since 99. Wow. And you know what? I always say that Woodstock 99 one. That Woodstock 99 one is just amazing. And that's the one that kind of, you know, I'm sure I wasn't going to shows back then, so I can't attest to all of those like trial and error like, you know, how when you're on tour, you get to see these songs every night. In certain tours, you're like, oh, that hit. But I just remember watching that Woodstock 99 recording, and Watchtower just was amazing. So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty bold statement there, but I mean, listen, it was good. It was something. And what I'll try to do is we'll try to call. I'm going to try to get some people's, with their permission, I'll give them my cell number. We'll have a phone call to literally call in, because I think that's what we're going to have to do. The thing is, since I started these post-show streams, I've been to the Gorge every year, 19 and 21. Before that, I wasn't doing these post-show streams as dedicated as I do now. So, we'll see. And actually, shout out to my fiance. She was saying, "Hey, you should just go next year." You know, you're staying up at 1 a.m. Shout out to she's a real one. Shout out to my fiance. She was like, "Listen, how many people your fiance, your wife tells you, hey, just go to the Gorge for the stream, right?" Shout out to her. But it actually may be better if I head out there next year. Oh, and the drone show. So yeah, there was drones that like flew above. Now I'm watching Stephen record this, and he said there's going to be something about there's going to be a drone show. There's going to be this drone thing, and I was like, what type of drone? Like, I know there's been some great, like when the show is just getting started, before D&B even takes a stage, there's been some people who have drones and take a picture of the crowd right before the band comes on. You have a little bit of sunlight to see everyone. Then they take a sunset picture where the lights are pointing down, right? I thought it was something like that. It's like, no, they had like all these drones buzzing by, and I'm like, is this the stage? Is this the sky? Is it a star? Is it a satellite? Right? You know, what's going on? But I saw these drones just zipping by, and I was like, yo, this is dope. It's like Spider-Man. Spider-Man Far From Home. Oh man. But that's cool. And I'll be looking forward to seeing some of the videos that come out of this Saturday night show. But that's why I said we talked about the set list, but then when we talk to someone who's at the show, I think that's important too, because you have to kind of, when you're there, it's different, especially because we don't like, listen, you could watch like obviously Fish and some of the other jam bands that, I don't consider D&B a jam band. We won't get into that today, but I don't. But when jam bands come in and have their streaming for almost every show, you can kind of feel certain things, right? Because they give you this nice quality audio. You're seeing the HD, right? You're still not there. And being at a Fish show versus watching it, or being at a Humphreys McGee show versus what, it's still different. But you can kind of feel a little bit of what's coming out of the soundboard. But having people stream on their cell phone, which is great, is a little bit different. Let's see if we can find the set list. And if anyone knows where it is on Twitter, let me know. That's Humphreys McGee. Oh my God, Jackson, Mississippi. Prayers out to everyone there. Their whole water supply is messed up. And hopefully it gets fixed, because, man. Let's see. Let's refresh. If anyone knows where the set list is. Does DMB Tattoo? DMB Tattoo usually has it. Let's see. Does anyone know where the set list is? Is anyone? And Matt Hughes, who was there, he's saying it looks different on paper than in person. They're performing each song 10 out of 10 level. Joyride had some hiccups, those strong performances, though. Let me check my phone, too. All right, let's see. Stephen just posted the You Never Know video. Yeah, but you know what, Matt? I will say the last couple of years, especially, well, I would say 21 and 22, I can think of times where, like, for instance, Do You Remember? I'm not a fan of that song. Like, I used to like it. I actually like it studio better. Like, in some ways, like I can listen to it when I'm going for a run, but they literally, that song was on point. I was like, I don't want to hear it at a show, but when I'm at a show and hear it, it's very well done. Do You Remember last year? It was very, very solid and on point. And I remember you and me a couple years ago, this is 2018, this is Buddy Strong era, right? They had the Mohegan Sun show, and I'm like, I'm not a fan of this song. I call it You and Meh, right? But they have this song on point. That is really what this current version of the band has done. You could talk about there's no violin, there's no this, there's no that, and you have some of your points are valid, but you can't say that this band has not really tightened things up. They have improved, I think, some of the audio too, and some of that's the mix. They have improved Dave's guitar. You could hear Dave's guitar. I don't see the set list, but hopefully the Stone comes out. Hopefully that. Now let's talk about this poster. You guys have, if you guys been following me for any period of time, I'm still bitter about, I need to go to therapy for this. I'm still bitter about some of the horrible Gorge posters that we got last year. Okay. And my first trip was in 2019. So my first trip, we had the Dragon Night 1. All right. That was lit. We had the Gorge Sperry Night 2. And we had the Rhino, not the Rhino. We had the merry-go-round thing night 3. Like there was so much great, there were so many great posters for Gorge 2019. So when I go to 2021, now remember, in 2021, it was alternate format, but the posters were already done, okay? It wasn't like, hey, oh no, they're not going to have Stefan and Carter. Let's have mediocre posters.
Bruh.
But that's exactly what happened. The Gorge 2021, the triptych was amazing. Let's give a shout out to Dan Mumford for the triptych.
Let's go.
But the actual posters,
You what?
the actual posters for the single nights,
What are you doing?
were absolute trash, okay? Absolute trash. And let me show you why. Because and listen, I understand people, like these artists put a lot of their hard work in. But Daniel Danger, we'll get to him in a second. We're gonna show you the difference between Daniel Danger and some of the other ones. Now listen, I love Chuck Sperry. I love Todd Slater. I love James Eads, right? There were some great poster creators that are in this D&B universe. But there are also some posters that just were horrible. So let's look at night 1. Night 1, Gorge 2021. Okay, the reason this poster is absolute, makes no sense, is the Gorge. Now listen, when you can drive like 20 minutes to 30 minutes away from the Gorge and you have woods. You have a telescope in the woods with all these trees. This looks nothing like the sub-desert climate of George Washington, Quincy Washington, whatever you want to say. It looks nothing like it. Okay.
No. Nope.
Okay. So this is methane is gonna methane, right? They make pretty generic posters and they fill up the empty spots in the tour. Some of them are better than others. I have a methane over here. I need to get framed from Mohegan of last year. But this poster does not feel like Gorge. I'm about to tear up. Sorry, Matt. I'm going to tear up the Dragon poster because I hated it. Or no, I shouldn't say hated. That's no, that's not cool. I strongly dislike it. Here's why. We get to night 2, and they're like, hey, I'm like, I need something with the landscape. This thing just is horrible. It's too abstract. You got this dragon on fire cross, like this poster. And I know, listen, I know it's different in person, and what, you get a little bit more of the colors, but this poster just doesn't give me a natural, realistic Columbia River, and maybe have like a super real drag, make a Game of Thrones dragon and have Khaleesi flying on that joint. Okay, this thing looks like a fifth grader drew this thing in, and I know it's supposed to be abstract on person, but it's trash. This is the one poster that you had the ability to have nature, and it's horrible.
Bruh.
You what?
So I just did not like this poster. Now we're gonna go to the third night. And the third night, it's not necessarily a bad poster. It's just, yo, we're at the Gorge. Okay? You're going to be judged a lot differently when you're at the Gorge. So let's look at the Gorge. This is the Ben Kwok Bobcat. Okay? Now I know there's Bobcats in Eastern Washington, whatever, you know. This isn't a bad poster, but why do you have all these trees? I know, again, you drive Squamish Pass, the mountain passes, Stevens Pass, are not, you know, they're just down the road. But I don't think of a bobcat when I think of the sub-desert of the Gorge, okay? Again, I know they're in Eastern Washington, but I don't think of bobcats and trees. When I think of Seattle, I think of those pine trees, right? But when I think of the Gorge, I don't think of these trees and this bobcat. I think this poster is good. It would be, if it was at any other venue, it would be a solid poster. But we're at the Gorge. I know Kwok is talented. I want something that captures the Gorge. I want someone canoeing in a river. I know they've done that before. Hines actually sent me his poster, clip of his poster. I want the Columbia River. I want the actual amphitheater. I want something that really captures the landscape. Okay. And this one missed the mark again, because listen, I'm here in Connecticut. I want to bring home a scenic backdrop of the Gorge in a poster, or something that represents something in this area. Now, when we go to Daniel Danger, okay, what do we know? If you guys watch my interview on Thursday, I talked to Henry from the DMB Almanac, and he said Daniel Danger went to him and wanted to look at the previous posters, just like we're looking through these posters. Daniel Danger searched through all of the Deer Creek posters before Deer Creek Night 2. And he looked at every single Deer Creek poster and said, I want to make something that's completely unique. Daniel Danger went above and beyond to say, the Deer Creek folks who get this poster Night 2, they are going to have a poster that they will never forget that is special. He did his research. There was no other poster like it. And Deer Creek has had 3 night stands. Deer Creek has had 2 night stands forever. It is one of the most consistent stops on the tour that you can guarantee 2 nights at Deer Creek. If they had to cut the tour to 10 shows, Deer Creek would still have 2 shows. And he nailed it. He nailed the poster. He did his research. I don't think, and we talked to Henry from the Almanac, there's not other artists hitting up the Almanac looking for inspiration. But Daniel Danger, he's a younger artist in the game right now. He's newer to DMB, right? It's only his second print. And let's look at the poster that he made. Now, if you're not familiar with the Gorge, there is a statue. There's a Crazy Horse statue that you can go to right before you get to the Gorge. You cross the Columbia River, and then once you cross the Columbia River, you're not too far from the Gorge. But here's the thing, right? And this is the thing. You're saying this. I would argue the Daniel Danger Deer Creek poster has absolutely nothing to do with Indiana. Same as you're speaking about from the other Gorge poster. Beautiful poster, but the theme didn't make sense for it, Indiana. So it has to do with the railroads, right? He did research in the railroads and the apocalypse and all that other stuff. But my point is, I don't like Indiana. I just was at Deer Creek. Indiana is flat. Okay. That's why you have a raven for Indiana, right? I think that was Kwok, right? That's a pretty good poster. Indianapolis or Noblesville, suburban Indianapolis, there's nothing really curvaceous about Indiana. It's very flat in that area. There are some different elevations, right? But Indiana is not known. Like maybe you have like something Hoosier based, or you have like the Speedway. But that poster was a great pull for a venue that's not known for nature. It's known for being a fun party in the middle of the crossroads of the Midwest, which is Indianapolis, right? It's the crossroads of the Midwest. Chicago one way, Cleveland another way, Kentucky another way, right? So for Deer Creek, I don't care that the poster, like that Daniel Danger poster doesn't fully represent it, but there's a story behind it. But with the Gorge, right? With this, the biggest weekend now, SPAC is the hardest ticket, but the Gorge is the biggest weekend of the year, and the Gorge is freaking beautiful. You were within this amazing scenery that thousands of years ago something happened to cause that. But there's a story. I had to look it up. There is a story behind. Let's go to IG. Let's go to IG because he does explain it. We'll look at this, and that's the thing is when you look at his prints, he has meaning behind it, right? Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, let's look at what Daniel Danger says here. Again, this dude, like, he is on his stuff. There's a wild horse, and then there is a wild horse monument. Look at this. So my print for the Dave Matthews Band performing in Noblesville, Indiana tonight. It's a dreamy dream of amalgamation of various pieces of the Nickel Plate Road Railway. Calvin Laturi helped me out immensely by recreating the old nickel plate font and signage for the departure board style show info. He is the best. So let's even look up the Nickel Plate Road Railway, right? And again, Indianapolis is the crossroads of the Midwest, right? You go every different way, it gives you something. So look at this. If we go to Wikipedia, the New York, Chicago, and St. Louis-based railroad reporting mark, NKP, abbreviated NYC and STL, right? Let's pull this up here. This is Wikipedia, right? Obviously. But this is a railway that served parts of the states in New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and Missouri, right? In 1964, the Nickel Plate Road Railroad and several other Midwestern carriages were merged into Norfolk and Western Railway, right? So this is a railway that comes through the crossroads of America, right? And again, Daniel Danger has intention on everything he does, and he makes you do research, right? I just did research trying to figure out what the heck this thing's about. So it's not just this is not a mistake. And again, look at the detail on this. So this thing is in ruins in the heartland, in the crossroads of everything. And then he has the names of the Almanac crew on this. So shout out to him for that. And then let's look at tonight's, okay? Because I did see this, right? My second print for Dave Matthews Band playing at the Gorge Amphitheatre in Washington tonight. My take on Grandfather Cuts Loose the Ponies by David Govardere, a late 80s contemporary outdoor sculpture that was never finished. Okay. So this thing was never finished. I have been there. It's on a hill at a rest stop. So let me show you guys. Let me show you. Right. There's, look at right there. So this is me in 2019. I climbed up this joint. Shout out to Justin from Indiana. Actually, he's from Indiana. Justin, I can't remember his last name. I met Justin here, and then I met him in the venue, and then we became Justin Floyd. Hey, big up Justin, my guy Justin Floyd, who I also saw at Deer Creek this year. I met him when I was literally coming up this little thing, and then I saw him at the Gorge, and we were sitting next to each other. But this is the monument. Look at this. This is the monument. This is right by the Gorge. Like, once you get across this bridge, if we go back, that bridge is in Vantage, Washington. Once you get across that bridge and you're on the side that I'm on, the Gorge is very close by. You're not far. The other side, if you go across this bridge from left to right, this bridge is Interstate 90. It gets you to Seattle. From this bridge, if you drive another hour and a half, you're in Seattle. I believe it's about an hour. It's maybe 2 hours. It's because Seattle is 2.5 hours from the Gorge. I know this because both times I went to the Gorge, I drove the overnight after night 3 of the Gorge. I drove late at night, the 2.5 hour drive. So across this bridge is Ellensburg I believe, yeah. And the other side is when you get over to where the Gorge is. So this is what I think of as someone who's been to the Gorge. I think of this monument. This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen at a rest. Probably actually the coolest thing I've seen at a rest stop. So I was hiking up here. It's steep. That back down there is actually, so down there, let me see if I can pull this back a little bit. Right there is where your cars are. You guys can see where that horse is. So you have to go down this steep incline and get over there. So there you go. This is a very, very cool thing. And this is what the Gorge looks like. This is right by the Gorge. So that's what I love about this poster. There's detail and thought. And there's probably, once people start framing these posters, can you say it's a bit of a down year for posters overall? I wouldn't. It's hard to say, because last year wasn't a good. Like last year, there weren't that many. Like there were some posters that hit, like obviously the MSG but like even Mohegan. I have both nights of Mohegan, but like even those posters, they didn't have a lot of buzz. And I will say the tour poster, the butterfly tour poster by Haphazard Press, is more popular to me than any of the ones last year that were the actual tour posters. So it's hard to tell. I'm trying to think. Last year, like I said, last year there were some hits and there were some misses, but the Gorge missed for me all 3 nights. Yeah, the West Palm posters, the night 2 West Palm was good. Night 1 was trash. But then the Irvine, I think it was the Irvine night 1 last year was forgettable. It's hard in last year, people were waiting. What is the rarest poster? You have the Sweet Tea, you have the Gorge Sperry. There's a site you can go on Espresso Beans and you can see like the highest valued ones. I don't have time to go over that today. But I did want to just shout out Mr. Daniel Danger. Yeah, the MSG posters. I struck out. That thing was crazy. They were letting people buy like three posters. And I was like there early. I didn't get one, but it is what it is. And I love Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden is the best arena. If you look right here, right, I'll show you guys If you look right here, right in front of me is my Madison Square Garden Billy Joel poster right there. So I love MSG. I saw my UConn Huskies win the Elite Eight on their way to NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. I've seen the Knicks playoff games with my dad. My dad's a Knicks fan. I'm a Sixers fan. Long story, but AI is the reason I became a Sixers fan. AI actually has roots here in Hartford, Connecticut. He has cousins and stuff that are out here. That's not why I became a fan, but it only helped me. Yeah, there's the bartender one. The bartender one, I think you sold yours, right? A run of 500. The Gorge Sperry is pretty popular too. The triptychs, I think the triptych from last year has a lot of value, but I think individually there's some better ones. Anyway, let's I'm gonna get to my don't drink. So tomorrow, I'll preface this. Let me actually show you. I'm gonna show you a little preview of this. So we'll go over this tomorrow. I don't have time today. But this is Don't Drink the Water. I actually pulled the beats per minute from a couple different versions of Don't Drink the Water from 98 to present. So we can actually analyze it. And I use this program online just like Henry did from the Almanac. We're going to do that tomorrow. So stay tuned. We'll hold that to tomorrow. Because it's almost 4 a.m. here. Okay. It's almost 4 a.m. So I gotta get to bed. I did sleep a lot before this. I did have a nice long nap. Shout out to nap time. So, let's go to the two steps. So let's pull up. Now, Stephanie with the F is not posting a lot of stuff, and that's fine. Stephanie with the PH, Stephanie from Indiana, she's been doing a little bit more posting, but I think that's great because Stephanie with the F is just kind of separated from the phone, away from all of the distractions it could be, not for this filming of stuff, but just for everything else there. So she's kind of stepped away, but we do still have one Steph left, and I hope they're able to meet at some point. If you haven't been to the Gorge, the cell service is terrible. Sometimes your battery runs out or you forget a charger and you just you kind of separate from your phone for a couple of days. And I think that's great too. Even though I come here and I do my videos and I'm showing you guys, just like Andy said, I have a joy in actually just sharing this stuff with you guys. Even past, even though I know I'm not going to fully take in certain shows in certain ways, but I love sharing this stuff and I love recording it. I love capturing it and editing it and all this stuff. Anyway, I digress. I don't want to be too long-winded, even though I'm long-winded. Let's go to the two steps here for night 2. So we do have some more stuff here. Let's go. So let me just say Steph with the F is kind of enjoying her Gorge experience without posting everything. So we do want to just respect that. But Steph PH is out here. Look at people are mooing. And back to the campground she goes. Back to the campground she goes. Trying to find the way back. And that's one of the hardest things. There you go. Found her way back home. And here's some more highlights from yesterday now that she's back at the tent crib. There is Trey and Selena. Shout out to them. And my homegirl Jessica from Rhode Island is shooting this video, so she just reposted that. Beautiful. Well, looks like Steph lost something, but this is what's awesome about the Gorge. Someone helped find it. There's Trey, Selena, and Steph, and I met all of them during my Deer Creek Alpine trip. So nice to see them all come together. And the more we get together, the happier we'll be. My friends and your friends and my friends. The more we get together, yeah, this place is amazing. It's unbelievable. And Steph's first time here. She's seeing that. Hey, there's bus driver Jerry. What up? Beautiful sunset right there from yesterday. Here we have Drunken Soldier. The Busted Stuff Salon. Very cool place there. Look at the fire dancer. It's lit. Oh, look at that. Look at that gym right there. That's me. That's that's night one. And look at that poster. Amazing poster for Saturday night. Night 2 at the Gorge. Shout out to Daniel. Danger. Danger. Remember that mystical song from back in the day? Yo, this is an amazing poster, and there we have Selena posting. She's right behind Steph, and great moment. Drunken Soldier. Cell phone service, yeah, it gets wild out there. It gets really crazy out there. Signal's terrible, and look at that. She had a run-in with Jeff Coffin. Thought she was going to get hit by a band. It turned out to be Jeff Coffin. She goes nuts, and Jeff gives the peace. Peace be with you, and also with you. Here we go. Shout out to Steph making that 1,000 follow mark. The air horn high. But yeah, shout out to Steph for getting to 1K. Found Stephen. Stephen hopefully will be on one of these days. He's been streaming from every night from his awesome location. Look at that deck right there. Look at that view. It's a beaut. Kick save and a beaut view right there. And there are the seats, those tiny little seats that from grandma's cookout. But hey, that's still a nice view. You're going to stand up and dance anyway, so just kick aside the seats. And there's the pig. This concludes night 2, and again, shout out to Stephanie with the F. She's just living in the moment, and she's not taking as much video, but we appreciate even her, night 1 giving us a little bit of her content. Stay tuned for night 3, man. That'll be very, very soon. 2 Stephs at the Gorge. Maybe they'll meet. Stay tuned. All right. So yeah, very cool there. Oh, Craig here from across the pond. Shout out to Craig, who is morning. Thank you for checking in, Craig. And yeah, so there you go. 2 Stephs at the Gorge. So I think we got pretty much everything we need to do now. Before we go, there was a birthday, and now it is the next day, but September 3rd was birthday for Granny, aka Sam Jones. I don't know if she's still on. I know she was on earlier. Shout out to her. But I did want to wish her happy birthday. Granny is right there, right below my chin to the left, and that's Debbie to the right. But I wanted to wish a happy birthday to Granny. So Granny, aka Sam Jones, is the self-proclaimed DMB grandmother. She is a mother to some amazing children. She is also a grandmother to her I believe she has a grandson and a granddaughter, at least. I think maybe a couple. But she is a grandmother. She is a mother and a grandmother. She is one of the foundations of what makes the Dave Matthews Band community great. So we want to wish her a happy birthday. I'm not going to say how old she is, but because you don't do that. You never tell a woman's age. If she wants to post it here, then she'll post it here. I met Granny through the Shut Up I Love You podcast crew. And she has a heart of gold. She is always somebody in a world of social media, of turmoil, fights, arguments, and vitriol. She is the light and love that we all need. She has been through so much. And despite no matter what she's going through in her own life, she always shows love to others. If you are going to a show at Deer Creek and she knows you online, she will insist on making sure you arrive safely. You get the Hoosier hospitality. And if you have any questions on places to go, if you need help getting to the venue, she is more than willing to help you. And I experienced this. This is a picture of me finally meeting her and Debbie, who's to the right in the hat, for the first time after the pandemic. We finally were able to connect in real life here at Deer Creek at my hotel. And I ended up going in tailgating and kind of carpooling with her the second night. The first night, she actually sacrificed getting to the venue on time to pick up a buddy, Mark, whose flight was delayed multiple times. Remember, this was back when all those flights were being delayed and canceled and delayed and canceled. There is so much I could say about Granny, but again, she is the heartbeat of this community, of everything that is great. She has been through so much. She is a widow. She supported her husband until his last days some years ago. And even through that tragedy has been there for all of her loved ones and still has been there. If anyone goes through anything hard in this community, she's the first person to text you. She's the first person to wish you well. She's the first person to send her condolences. And again, I cannot say enough about Granny. She is not related to me by blood, but she is DMB family to me. So happy birthday to Sam Granny Jones. We're going to close out this show by playing Granny, a song that she loves, a song that really represents what she is to this community. And again, in a world where you see a lot of negative things on social media, she is the positive. She is a great mother, a grandmother, and a friend to all that need her. And I told her if she comes to the East Coast, I'm going to give her the hospitality she gave me. But few people can give the love, support, and care in this community that she gives to all of us here. So happy birthday, Granny. That's it. But we love you. We appreciate you. We wish you well. We hope to get you out to the Gorge. That's another plan that we all have. At some point, we're going to figure out a way to get you to the Gorge, so that you're able to see all the great things that we've experienced, us people who have been to the Gorge. We're going to get you out to the East Coast as well. I'm going to work on that as well. But we're going to close out with Granny. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for sticking with me. These late night shows, they're late. It's 3:45 in the morning, but I am fueled by you guys who come in and support. Hit the like button, right now. Everyone, there's 8 people on. Everyone hit the like button. What that does is it allows more fans to see this content. I'm not about getting 50 million fans, but I love to grow this community. I love to bring everyone in to talk DMB. And I would love for this to get to reach people who are new to DMB, who have questions about DMB, and I will answer those questions. I will be someone to help people to get into the different live tracks, to answer what guitar does what. I'll be here for you. So hit the like button, subscribe, post a link to the video. Shout out, Craig's always doing that. Hines, you're always supporting everyone on here. Thank you guys for the support. Pee Wee Herman, I see you more and more as I continue this 2022 tour. But it's your boy Conservist 34. Whoa, hold up.
Bruh.
I almost forgot. There's a big announcement coming this Tuesday. Allegedly. This has been according to sources at antmarching.org in the forums. An announcement is coming Tuesday. This is big for a couple of reasons. It's big for a couple of reasons because if it's coming after the Gorge, that means there's hope if there's a fall tour that they are going to play in Seattle. Remember, you cannot, the Alpine folks know this. When they did Wrigley Field, I know Hines was at Wrigley Field 2010, I believe it was. He was at either one or both of those nights. They did not announce Wrigley Field until after they did Alpine. They literally had to go through that weekend and they could not say anything. The band was so excited to be able to play Wrigley, but they couldn't say anything because there are restrictions to market size where if you have a concert in the same market that same year or very shortly, you can't announce it until you go until the first couple shows are over. Now, yes, Alpine fills out the actual amphitheater sells out. The lawn is full to the brim back in 2010. But it's just a rule that they made. Promoters made it so that people actually buy tickets to the summer tour. If you knew that a band was coming in the summer and maybe you have work or something, you're gonna be like, I'll wait. If you knew they were coming in the summer and in the winter, you'd be like, maybe I'll wait till the winter. Or maybe you say, I'm not going to the winter. I'm just gonna go to the summer. So they always make sure that you can't announce a fall date until you come around. That's why Farm Aid this year, if you guys pay attention, they did not announce Farm Aid until the D&B crew, Dave Matthews Band, did Raleigh, because Farm Aid is in Raleigh this year. So they did not announce it until they did, because again, it's the same idea. Well, if I knew Dave and Tim are coming, do I need to go to this Dave Matthews Band show on a crazy Friday with a lot of traffic? It's just one of those things industry-wide they made so that you do get the maximum ticket sales from a summer show, a spring show, a January show, if they're going to be coming through in December. So if this happens, this brings hope that they will actually play Seattle. There are rumors of Seattle. I don't know how true. I think it was more of a troll. But Climate Pledge Arena is a world-class arena. They could easily do 2 dates before going to the Midwest and East in Seattle. It's just a matter of if they want to do it. A lot of this stuff comes down to, there was an argument about, the band should play Red Rocks again. This was in Marching.org. And the question is, does the band really want to play Red Rocks? Right? Perhaps maybe next year Dave wakes up and wants to do it, but they kind of just want to play the venues that can give the most fans access, and Red Rocks wouldn't do that. So does the band want to play the West Coast? Do they want to play in their hometown of Seattle, a full band show for the first time in decades? Perhaps, maybe not. We'll see. But stay tuned. Tuesday is going to be a big day. Check, make sure you're by your emails. Tuesday, September 6th, a big announcement should be coming. It may not come. There may not be anything. But that's what I'm hearing through the grapevine. I'm passing it along to you. I almost forgot to talk about that, but that is the big thing that is coming through, a fall tour or a new album or both. I think we are going to get an announcement about an album and the fall tour this Tuesday, but it may not happen. That's just my guess. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's going to be a fall tour? Do you think there's going to be an album announcement, or will there be both, or will there be nothing? Will there be absolutely nothing that happens? Stay tuned for that. But I got that out the way. I want to close out with Granny. For Granny, happy birthday to Sam Granny Jones, just one of the best people you'll meet in this community. We hope you enjoyed your day. It's your boy Constance 34. I'll be on tomorrow, approximately 11 p.m. Pacific time, just like tonight. Depends on how long they play or how short they play, but around 11 Pacific, 9/4/2022. That's going to be in the wee hours of Labor Day. That's 11:45 or 11 Pacific. That's 2 a.m. Eastern time. Spread Conspiracy 34. Let's spread love to the world. Let's spread joy to the world. Let's help our neighbor. Love thy neighbor like we love thyself. Let's consider kindness. Let's give people grace. Let's change the world by changing ourselves and showing love to others, even if we don't disagree on everything, even if we have different mindsets about life and different philosophies. We can change the world by showing love to those who may show us hate. It's okay to have healthy debate. This show is great. Peace. Granny coming now.